they should be suspicious or ask for help. There seems to be nothing between us. You are not stable in South Africa. Life and death over there. What are you doing running to my sword? Dong Hoa laughed. Of course, there's something to ask. After hearing Dong Hoa say what he wants to ask, Zhang Tu could not help but get angry. You think martial arts is white vegetables, Sao? I just opened my mouth and wanted 2 martial arts bodies. With a cold smile, before the cartoon shows the seduction. They didn't take advantage of the time associated with the conversion to the Shinto demon. The practice of self-sacrifice. Because the male and female have 7 lost souls. They used to collect 10 that seek Sao blessings. In that male-female lot, certainly physically, has achieved significant enhancement. Martial arts document. The body is the most beneficial from creating that riot. You say, your demons don't have a holy body. You feel that others will believe you. I won't let you lose money. He just put his hand in his sleeve. Take out a piece of jade. This is peace brought by my own hands. You will gain power. It can be in life and death. Think if you take the initiative to break its rules. You can open up the time of death. Its value probably doesn't need me to say much anymore. When Aquarius breaks down, made by Tai Sun King Dong Hoa himself, wearing it will have the same position as the King of Ti. After a while, he led the 2 men to a waiting room. The documents we stole are all here. Take a look and choose. Check it out for a moment, then ask. Can you just help? What kind of body has been blessed? Trong Tu also has no secret to explain the hand. Young people's bodies are different from ordinary people. Black and white body, people with different energy than ordinary people. Maintain the appearance of the brass male-female constant. Optimistic and excellent. The adaptability is a bit specific. When the king heard it, he smiled and thanked him. Then he directed the 10-year-old. Call your dead friend. Let them choose. 10 good nods yes. He quickly ran to hell. Find 2 dancers. Vu class CA evil lie, CA we have been looking for. You can let the 2 of you show your talent. Please come with me. If you hear that, your eyes can't help but squint. After a while, a body above the ocean right now. Suddenly open your eyes. Then the container was smashed. 2 sets of bodies in 2 boxes to slowly step out. In front of 10 people. 10 excited kindness brings to dresses. Put this on. Trong Tu and Dong, he stood not far away asking. Are there any other requirements? Concord continues the words. We also want to buy some magic. Against the old king's enchantment, art, and mental pollution. He nodded. Then I will take you to choose. We don't have the tower anymore. Dong Hoa also had no idea to immediately nod to the count. After a while, the people were led by another spirit. French gas related to the ancient king. The art of refuge and the spirit of pollution are all here. Dear guests, you want to choose the powerful. But the side effects are almost impossible to adjust. Or want the normal effect. But side effects are adjustable. Or relatively harmless. He said to them, they are a wonderful people. Dance class continued. Of course, the effect is as strong as possible. Then she went to the shelf and took down a magic token. Then I advise you, should choose this arm protection method. It's an assault treasure entrusted by the ward owner. Master in manufacturing, it's able to resist the temptation and the price of dreams. The only price to pay is after use. Deep in my heart, you will have a nightmare. The most desperate and annoying. Dong Hoa laughed. Listen to the NDTO. But your boss. Why not save it for use? It's for sale. Wonderful smile. Because I don't need it anymore. Move the scene to the side of the crowd. Willow Tu and Luong review piece theater. That you bring back. And a moment later. This thing is more precious than the martial arts body. Tung Ho, a religious display prepared to humiliate for AI. Do you realize? Shou Tu shaking his head. They're all strangers. I guess those two are big money men. Or even earlier than that. Willow Tuan heard that he could not resist. It's fun to laugh. Move the scene to the Thai side of the dead. He was executed after learning that the piece had left. There is no return. But sit outside waiting. To search for something. Nasal blood is constantly coming out of the nose. Viet Trach can no longer hold back from a distance, give an opinion. Or we could sneak in there using the potential topography. See if they're really gone. The devil shook his head. You don't have to. We just looked through it. My disciples are not in Thailand. It's very difficult to understand in his heart. It's just where the capital is. Like that, look out, progress seems to have reached stage 10 good press. We need to go out and judge the infidels. It is not tolerated by heaven and earth. Think about here. He waved goodbye to the people. We're one step ahead. From a distance, there is no idea how to nod. After leaving, the devil immediately clasped his hands. Come out here, unicorn devil. After a while, he sprayed something out of his mouth. It's black. It quickly turns into a demon. In the shape of a unicorn, follow the devil fly away. I don't know how long it took to breathe. Up there are results. The two SA dead heard that. They all turned their heads to look at him, waiting for him to wipe away the blood on his nose and say Ra. 4 days later, Thai son King Dong Hoa will be embodied in the god capital Luoyang. Inside the House of Harmony, painting of Thai son covered with troops, still hanging on the wall. The capital is also hiding inside. With him. After a while he spoke. 2414 seems to have been blocked by the thugs. I can't relate to another me. To bother the military to help. Tell him the time has come. The Thai San army nodded. The goat moves the scene to the other side. At the shore of the asylum, the quiet air. People have been coming here for a long time now. The village is quiet by the river. No human shadow. I stood there for a long time and the 7 gods did not speak. The Lord came to call. A long time ago, he knew. After a while, there was a middle-aged man sailing ahead. Let me ask you, it was the entourage of the Duke of Zhou who was about to take office. I don't care if I ask you again. The Kier quickly rowed closer to the shore. Then go to the shore. Hand explained at the bottom is the water Tai Bao Yen maintain. Tai 2, district town martial artist. If you listen carefully, the more suspicious you are. Martial artist town of 2 district. Why are you not in protective custody? What are you running out here for? Waiting to explain. Because 3 days ago I was abroad. There are 3 ghosts. They took the river. Abolished the ambush bridge at the bottom of the Snake River. I worry about Lord Chu when I cross the river. They will hit their ambush. Come here to remind. Long cut off. If only Thi 2 had been possessed by demons. Why aren't you looking for a gun? Let them send the Marines. Smiling, he laughed. I told you, but the guy gave me a reason. It was an accident on the road. The new Duke of Zhou to refuse. So there's no other way. Long condensed pink continuous flame up finger nodding. So we've got a rough idea. I saw her suddenly call out the fire. His face is full of doubt. It's very confusing. In front of his incomprehensible eyes, she raised her hand. Let the fire burn on him. Yen just couldn't react. He was burned by the Red Cross. He tried to stop the suffering caused by the fire. Looking up for a long time. Lord, what do you mean? There was no response, and the corn came in front of him. It's cold, don't pretend. We've seen you have a problem. The wise man answered some of our questions. And then you're good to go. Then we will give you a chance to live. This guy is not the sheik. It's the ghost of the island. Listen to the words of Go Hui. He has no way of understanding this. It's impossible. The old man's pseudodermal arts down to the tissue. Everyone claims to be unique. How can you see the old man's loopholes? He was burned by the Red Cross. Let the body twist because of suffering. It turns out that you camouflage very well. Even if you put on the skin of this county governor. It doesn't even smell bad. Of the devil. But you shouldn't disguise yourself 1,000 times. Become the martial arts master of the great. On the banks of the river. There's clearly a problem. Even the situation could have been a dead citadel. You are the owner of this place. It's like an idle person. Appeared in front of us. Do you think we are blind or stupid? Long added. There are also martial arts masters of the great. I wouldn't call the great demon of the devil the great prince. It turns out that this is the way it is. Right now, in the river, there is another devil. Pick up, Banale, jump up. Don't talk shit with them anymore. 3 brothers, we join forces. The woman's head was cut off and rewarded. It's not even as easy as turning Sao's hand. This lover has just appeared. Is the great demon General Gaoshan. This is a character from Taiping Quang Kai. Immediately from inside the castle died. On the other side of the river, there is another body. 3 brothers. Don't worry, you haven't acted because there is a reason. Loving human head, big tongue long. This is the ancient ghost. It's taken from neuroscience. He walked towards the old people. How's the corn nest lately? He just showed up and put his hands over his nose. It smells so bad. It's the way a river can smell. How many people did this animal eat? The dog looked at the enemy. Are you, even though the local organ also appeared for a long time? This ghost is not something you can deal with. Give it to me. The people in the back are now shouting. Old people like you. Embodied on the way of Chu Tuk's inauguration. You are not afraid of misunderstanding. Open, a comprehensive battle between the dynasty and all things Sao. Wear the cold. A comprehensive battle between the dynasty and all things Sao. What does that have to do with farts? The master of the army is dead. The old turtle was besieged in Liao City. Unless we finish eating, the great fairy of change in this other world. He's made an immortal destiny. 15 after all things are owned by AI, is not sure yet. 2 people Trong Tui and Quang Tui quickly draw the sword in front of you. Very quickly, the organ has appeared long body control. She asked the 2 people behind her. The foolish nest of the appointment. Is our past still in effect? The corn immediately replied, of course, there is, but I heard you're about to become 10 immortals. I'm afraid I'm not his opponent. Strictly face-to-face platform, not Sao. You deal with the other 2. I love the long-tongued ghost. Move the scene to a cave. There's a ghost running in here. It's a mountain girl. The wind has just come in. He knelt down and reported the situation. The queen wore the Lord's clothing. Tao Tien and Cao Thien General. Go looking for Chu Tuk. Just took office. The queen sits in the chair. Face color multiplies. When did they start? The wind is fluttering. A few days ago. It just finished. Then his foot has a bone in it. Crashed up from the ground, pierced it in agony kneeling there. Hugging my legs, endlessly shivering and moaning. The queen asked angrily. A few days ago. Why did you only report it now? Resilience sits on one side. Replace the eardrum, explained. Because speaking late will only cause you some physical pain. But if you say it early, then it will definitely be stripped alive by the great demon wearing gear. The wind kept fluttering, the hand explained. Just as the king said. Before wearing the Lord, he gave the word. Who misses its good stuff? When he comes back, he'll skin him. I don't want to report early. I really don't dare. The queen asked again. If that was the case, why don't you shut up? I really don't understand. The eardrum fluttered. Because we're moving back to the witch. Organ is crossing the river right now, towards the Lao Tet. I saw the opponent coming. They have no fear of burning and are even more excited. Just in time. The organ has just arrived. Then he threw the media slash at it. They both immediately fell into space through hell. Organ just delivered. He was immediately beaten back by the enemy. She tried to keep her foot on the goat land. They can be reluctant to stand. At this point, pay attention to the surrounding situation. Here it is. It's cold. Look at it. In fact, these 10 immortals are white. The deception of life and death is relentless. For example, the sky. After hanging, you can't die of asphyxiation. The dead will not die suddenly. Or cursed to die. By repeating this process after 10 immortals, you can avoid great. Most ways to die in this world. Am I right? The state does not hide anything. Right now, we have achieved 9 immortals. Only lack the immortality of the chief priest. It is the god of the city. Do you know that I am waiting for the next generation? It's his transformation in the physical world. In another world, there is no power of the leader. Like how long you've been waiting. Ha ha ha, the organ shook its head and sighed. That's what shallow vision is. It's hard to understand. You said I had a shallow view. Put the knife in the ground, explain. If you travel through the world, see enough of the world, then you will know. Immortality is the worst punishment. Lord and master of all things in this world. I will let you train. This could be them. I'm still in the mood to see the fun. After you train. Speaking of which, it's a fire. Covering the dagger with everything around it. This technique is called raw material. The point is that the fire burned Alayan raw grassland. It's on the opposite side. Soon after, he was caught by the fire. Burning incense, the organ continues to explain. The sinner who destroys the living. Criminals are like you. The punishment must be at the highest level. Let's be in great loneliness and suffering. Stop worrying about your crimes. Go back to the White Queen. She is now asking the eardrum. I advise you to come find me. The wind is nodding. That's right, your host said just through the middle of the day. The Lord will not be able to avenge me. The queen's face wrinkled when she heard that, falling into silence for a while. After a while, she gave up. You called them here. I have something to ask. After a moment of eardrum, 10 years ahead of the Cubans. You are looking for me. The queen asked him back. Is that you encourage the eardrum to throw? Stone tracing, right? You finally figured out something. Keep your hands together to explain. Cause and effect of the epitome. It's not a measurable increase. It was discovered by the lady. The queen looked forward to the 10 points. 10 quickly explained. The woes of this world. Tell me. Liu Yang is preparing for a calamity. The ghost of creation. The great love of Kier. It's one of the scourges of this calamity. Move the scene to the opening. I am currently at the Master of Heaven. waiting for him to figure something out. After a while, he asked how it was. The monster wiped the blood from his mouth that his nose landed on. Just now, when we calculated the hexagons as usual, I figured it out 4 days later. Liu Yang will have a disaster creation ghost. I was startled to ask what the intensity was. Monster tension meeting. This time there is no red sky covering the sky. I see it quite clearly. It's a top disaster. Right away, run to the high. Report the situation to him. I was startled when I heard it. The monster calculated that Liu Yang had changed. Liu Zi seriously replied, "That's right, your face is full of confusion. But the aliens have their eyes on this world. Not all of them are serious. Along with Spring, locked up in the sky. Or Sao, there's still a ghost left outside, okay? Giving an opinion can also be a new foreign god. After our general and the enemy general. Changing the armies of the insane according to Kier's pagan beliefs. Hard to guarantee will not continue to summon ghosts, wanting to break the balance. I bite my teeth. Liu Yang can't have a long time. Save flight. I went to Han Duong yesterday. She's probably in the water right now. Cao En assigned. Then immediately send a letter to the same district. Tell her to hurry to Liu Yang and wait for orders. Tell them to come to me. Hurry up and get the order to leave. After a while, he came outside the first floor door. Tian Lao Pioneer. 2 pieces of lion. I'm still snoring outside right now. I don't know where heaven is. He directed them loudly. Wake up and don't sleep. I'm here to find you and inform you. Important right now, sitting inside a cage Chen. On the middle stage of cultivation, time flow rate here. Compared to the outside is 100/1. Are zealously practicing. Suddenly, there was a sound in his ear. The old man is looking for you. When you hear that, open your eyes and wake up. The door opens slowly after that. It's important to ask. You are looking for me. It is not me, but your majesty. I call you Cao. Because Cao, he came to take the title. Careful after that. Go to the royal palace with him. After listening carefully to the current situation, he couldn't help but startle. What Liu Yang is about to have a disaster. The ghost of heaven. Circumcision nods. That's right, and we've only got 4 days left. Sincerely in the heart of silently scolding. Why the hell does it have to be this time? The 2 of them just walked to the door. I can't help but call you up. Important. It's important to go to the bow. Your Majesty, please speak. I asked after the fight in the devil. You replaced me with Zhang. Willow 2 and Prosperity wish 3 Tang. There is a part inside. It's when there's something to do with the aliens. 3 ways to watch support, not denied. I don't remember wrong. Carefully nod your head. There really is this. Call you seriously. World calamity in Liu Yang. Maybe this oath will help. After thinking for a moment, he asked. Save yourself for the impending apocalypse. The most strategy. How much can we mobilize? Give back to your majesty. Except for the capital city of Liu Yang and the native Ra. We can't provide critical support. And 2 of the 5 great masters of pioneering. Hi, he asked again. Including King In, Min, and Sao. Circumcision nods. Including King In, Min. Move the scene to the side. The first generation of organ. Earned by the Red Cross. Constantly moaning. I'm guilty. I shouldn't have seen the video. On the Google review channel without like. His original image, it also gradually appeared. He doesn't stop screaming. We shouldn't kill people. We shouldn't go into people's homes and eat cut children. Cut off people's house fire. The sky next door shouted loudly. 2CA, you're not sick. You've been working dirty for years. I did not repent yesterday. That day did not repent. Why do you want to repent right now? The prophet is powerless to respond. I don't want to, but this fire is too evil. The other side of Cao Thien's head suddenly shouted. Be careful, someone is approaching it. After that, Li appeared with them. The fairy Lao Ra blocked her way. Let me deal with this woman. He restored the body. Then execute the 4-bay captain transfer. Actively attack Louis Nest. Louis Nest calmly deployed Ra, only chained Heaven Chewed. This one chief of freight, it was as if it would hit her in the head. But at the critical moment, the space is twisted, the distance between the two of them is drawn. Louis's body blinked, has retreated back out of this one click. First, I saw this one of mine. The enemy avoided it so easily. It's not scary. When you ride on the white dragon, you ask, is the nest over? He looked up at him and said, let's go. When Korn heard that, it condensed fire. It's like a little sun on the middle. Let me come here. After that, they also jumped away. Two great ghosts. The sky is screaming. 2CA, stop kidding, you move. The frightened robber replied, I'm not kidding you. This woman doesn't know what she's doing to me right now. We have no way to move. The fire-footed son of Wu Gi in the air. It's getting bigger and bigger. The calendar after that, he was thrown to heaven and heaven. The first one right now, there was absolutely no way to move. You can just stand there and fight. Everything can only rely on heaven. The sky saw the scorching sun. If you hit here, bite your teeth. I don't know what to do. He finally did not dare to resist. Turn around and run away. 2CA is guilty, the enraged fairy shouted. These three of you want to leave me behind. At this time, Louis shouted coldly. Did I let you go? She just finished. In the air appeared a woven crib. White fabric from side, in quick shoot out, and the sky holds them back. They say that you have never been in a relationship. You must have made an oath. Not born in the same month of the same year. He died in the same month, right? The fairy is waking up now. Turns out you're a monster. God's people will help us get revenge. The two of them later. He was struck down by the fire, burning insanely. Their miserable cry immediately echoed across the river. Inside the Pine local orc. At this time, it also began to collect the fire. Long hard to understand. I can see that this demon is not very strong. Why did you say I'm not his enemy? Topics explained. Because we didn't give it a chance to move. You remember. Ever since we started using it. Pull it into Pluto power. We always use words to attract its attention. This gives us an opportunity to deploy. Pink interindustrial fire and suddenly attacked. Is that right? Long remembered, it was so. The organ continues to explain. In exchange for you to fight this battle, whether it is from the beginning, he called the Red Cross, or Ra's scouting collectibles. It will be no small possibility. That's what happens later. It became a long battle. Did you say yes? For an incomplete trickster like you. And the great demon, I don't know how many years I lived. I found out how much. This kind of magic, a fight is a book. Are you right? Once again, there is no way to argue. Yes, I understand. Hong Lin, fire industry. Behind the scenes is a winning strategy. If you meet the enemy, equal or higher than us, we need to maintain, careful and careful, can create an effect of surprise attack. It's easy for young children to teach. If we ask again, we we still have a question. How do we handle it? I hear you talking. 10 immortals feel this magic is a little harmful. We really may not need too much time to find an effective method. It can kill it. Or SAO people on the banks of the narcissistic river, still waiting for us to come back and help. The organ casually replied, if you are in a hurry, you may not be able to handle it. Just leave it here for a long time. That's a shock. What? Outside the Shisuifi River with Cao Thien. It's now been burned into 2 humanoid charred lumps. Even so, Louis did not release. Just stand there frowning and staring at them. Corn Anise from the middle seam landed down to ask, what's the problem, SAO Louis Nest? Lee looked at him and asked, do you remember the reaction of these 2 ghosts after wearing the organ to be taken away? When I heard that in my head, I started to remember. As soon as the organ takes the epithet away, then God said out loud, CA is not here. We are not opponents of Wu Gi and Louis. We should leave before the CA comes back. I remember all the corn. Remember clearly, Louis Nest once again glanced at the 2 black bodies on the water. But then, they seemed to forget who we are. Wait until I pray for happiness to remember. This is obviously not normal. Corn Anna's face wrinkled. You mean, Louis explained that there are still Gao masters around. Is that he did something to affect consciousness of these 2 ghosts. At the bottom of the river, the old woman's disciples are here, with a frog-shaped ghost talking. This frog, who dominated the former followers of the Sand Hole Fake Mineral Center. It belongs to the 2-person clan. It's a race from the outside world. It's called atrial infarction. As soon as Louis realized there had been a master, it's directed at the opposite 2 people to say Ra, that former goddess. They have realized our existence. This guy is the oldest supporter of the Ba Bird. Private Freakhead Fake. He points the name next to the scold. It's all because of you. If not, you wish to get the intel of those 2 local deities. Then we will not reveal. This man is his former religious leader. Erectal refill real breast fake. Scolded by friends. He didn't really notice. Laughing, what's wrong with this? We're eating their memories. It's not over. If not for me to do it, then we can get intelligence on Annis and Louis Nest. So fast SAO. To say you are the first team to think too much. So it's been so long. And still can't get to the bottom of the world. To make the progress of our dominator's occupation seriously delayed. When I heard him speak for a moment, my mouth cracked. I don't know how to respond. Because the opponent is absolutely right. Move the scene back to the shore. After the negotiation is over, 2 people, Louis Nest and Corn Annis, turned towards the 2 of you. The 2 of them were startled when they heard Louis' words. You said there are still masters around. Louis nodded. Yes, to ensure the best safety. You should use the test. The 2 men turned and looked at each other. Exchange of ideas. Right after that, they both took out their own security guards. Quickly put them at the center. LAN out around. And very quickly, it landed at the feet of the underwater devotees. I'm actually standing below, constantly reciting the mantra. The journey of extreme evil. Tracing the fake of the dark. There is something in his hand right now. This represents the memory of the people. Corn Annis bring. Please give me. Time in turn digests the forces of the race, the world and former gods. The 2 of you are on the shore. At the same time exclaimed, he found it, and hurried to ask where it was. But the unexpected happened. 2 people who are interested make a puzzled appearance. Ask again what? Where to prosecute suspected. You didn't use the Mandarin. Look for the mysterious master hiding around. Or why ask us the opposite? The two turned their heads to look at each other. Did we use the Mandarin just now? Why don't we have this memory? Not for a moment in wonder. Their memories have also been erased. I quickly turned my head and looked at the two men. How many things can you remember? These two were also devoured of their memories. Show a suspicious appearance, or ask again. Remember something. It's not like we just got back to shore or SAO. When Korn saw this situation, it was stressful, sweating all over, swallowing hot saliva. At this time, it appeared from above. What are you talking about? He raised his head inexplicably and looked at her. I don't know why she's standing there. Lord Wu, in his heart, startled. It's broken so fast. Long wait for the answer, Louis said Ra. We found out there's a master in the dark. Explore us. The enemy seems to have a trick. We can quietly erase some of our memories here. I don't know why. We and Korn haven't been affected for very long. When I heard that, my face wrinkled. Fake minerals in the water, panicked uttered. The old god on the shore still remembers us. It's hard to understand. How could this kind of thing happen? The power of the Lord. And it's invalidated on the bodies of these former local gods, SAO. The false prophet did not tell you why. This world is very special. To the whole thing. The Lord was also defeated by the person whose attributes are closest to it. Of the 6 former gods, how do you feel compared to the king who fought the former governor? Fighting in the timeline of Asia. The stronger the butt. SAO, the 2 old gods on the shore may be the same as the emperor. This time it's your turn to blow your throat. I don't know how to argue. On the shore, now raise your hand again to call. Red industrial fire, pink interindustrial fire, to help us find karmic relatives. Around here, the false spirit of panic uttered. We've got to go. The man in charge of the miracle fire. The Empire's supreme leader is already looking for us. The fake head nods. Let's go. 2 bodies on the Kier River. My owner doesn't like my eyes. Their hearts don't need to be recovered. Fake range, no more hesitation. Put your stick on the ground. Then let's go. Let them be the center. And immediately, there's a water vortex. The truth is that there is still some doubt. For the purpose of this trip, it's not about taking the heart of a man. Who's called the local mythical creature, or SAO. So you have to give up? The answer is not to give up. I kind of knew. Where was it taken by the fake organ Kier? The recall can be assigned to the fake. People are very fast. It was covered in water. Waiting for the water to melt, it also dissolves some forms. I can't see the shadow. Long above the water. At this time, I am still urging the fire industry. Search around. I haven't found anything that makes you very confused. It's strange why there isn't. Corn Anise in the back curiously asked. I found it not long ago, the bass answered. The enemy seems to have left. Move the scene to the underground of Yanzhou. A bunch of fake mineral seekers. It's the movement that's coming here. They just appeared in front. Someone came out and asked, You're not hunting mythical creatures. Oh, come back to hand or not? First of all, there's been a little trouble. Can you contact me for help? We have a job to find him. The Kier nodded. Maybe after a while. In front of people, then a space crack appeared. Come out from the inside and ask if you can find me. The simulator heads straight to the point. The goal of my mission. He was dragged into the world by the new emperor. After death. I don't know the information. Can you take me somewhere? Stop letting go nod. Maybe he later.